The video works because they feel like they're getting to know you and it's repeat exposures, but you got to get them into an event. And when you get them into an event, they see how fun you are, how generous you are, and it all starts to come together.
Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everybody, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. For those of you that are new, welcome to Referrals Podcast. For those of you that are longtime listeners, welcome back. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. And today we have a real treat for you. Perhaps you've heard me say or others say the fortune is in the follow-up. Well, today we're literally going to show you how the fortune is in the follow-up. We're going to show you some of the most brilliant ideas you've ever heard of when it comes to marketing, advertising, and promoting your events, but also maybe most importantly is talking about that follow-up sequence. What do you do after the event to generate listings, buyers, investors, maybe even sponsors to your events? And we're going to talk about all of that and more today. I cannot wait to dive deep into it. Before I do that, I've got to give a quick shout out to Catherine Burkhart, a realtor in Tennessee, next to Nashville. Can't tell you how much you are appreciated. Your zeal. Only reason I did this shout out is because she used the word zeal. The word of the day is zeal. Your zeal in what you do for us in Gen is inspiring and a goal for us all. Have an amazing spring. Thank you, Catherine Burkhart in Tennessee. She is by the way, we have referred Catherine Burkhart, and she has referred several members of the Generosity Generation. She is an ambassador through and through. Make sure that you friend her in the group. The group is joingengen.com, joingen.com. Join the Generosity Generation today. If you're the type of person who's listening to this podcast, you're the type of person who needs to be in the Generosity Generation. It's one of the largest referral groups in the country. We'd love to have you. It is private. You will have to fill out a short application to get in. And then once you're in, you're in. All right. Also, speaking of being in, what are you doing September 27th through the 29th? That is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right before the fourth quarter. You've heard about Finish Strong. We're going to help you finish stronger, finish strongest, and help set you up for all of 2025. Referral Mastery Summit 2024 is in Atlanta, Georgia at the Omni downtown. Phenomenal Centennial Park location. It's a beautiful location, beautiful venue. The people that are going to be there are even more beautiful. Check it out now at rms2024.com. Use the code RP, that's for Referrals Podcast, RP April, and you get $600 off through the end of April. That is a steal of a deal, people. Take advantage of it. RP April for $600 off, rms2024.com. If you're on YouTube right now, you can see my information in my name, rms2024.com. The code is RP April. We are the theme of this year's RMS Referral Mastery Summit is Unleash Your Superpower. We are going to literally help you unleash your superpower. It's a superhero theme, and why not? It's going to be a super duper, super September. Love it. Now, speaking of super duper and super, we have Dustin Fox here today, co-founder of the Fox Homes team with his wife, Devin, and they are based out of the Fairfax, Virginia area and serve the entire DC metro area. Together, they have revolutionized leveraging social media for attracting business to their real estate team. They have mastered digital marketing by using their events on Facebook, Instagram, Google PPC, which is pay-per-click, YouTube ads, and SEO, which is search engine optimization, which has propelled the team, listen to this, to over 400 million in sales in just 3 years. Dustin is also the author of a book called 6 Weeks to Real Estate Success, which I highly recommend you check out. Without further ado, welcome to Referrals Podcast, Dustin Fox.
Thank you for having me, Michael. I'm excited to be here. I'm glad that you clarified pay-per-click definition and search engine optimization. My wife is constantly lecturing me that I'm just assuming everybody knows this stuff. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
And you've been a huge inspiration to me. Got your book probably week one of getting licensed 8 years ago. You came to speak at our brokerage in Dulles, over by Dulles Airport, 7 years ago. And you got me on the generosity train and just doing more for your clients, and it's just changed our business.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And I'm telling, by the way, I want to make sure I've got your wife's name. Is it Devon or is it Devon, or how do you make sure I've got that right?
Yeah, it's Devon. You had it
Devon.
right.
Okay, good. Very good. Very good. Well, all right. So let's jump right in. One of the things that you implemented very, very quickly in your business, and you got on the right train. I always say the number one biggest mistake real estate agents make is not having any events. And then, there's people in the audience all the time. It's like, well, they're smiling smugly. And I go, all right, the number two biggest mistake is having one event a year. And I truly believe that's that might be the biggest mistake, because you have one, you do all the work. Afterwards, you're exhausted. You don't do any of the follow-up. You don't have any referrals. And you're like, what did I do? And you're like, well, I did a lot of good for the community. But it's like, no, right? I think we need to think bigger than that. I think we need to do better than that. And so tell me, first of all, about the events that you're doing.
Well, I will start off by saying I'm not quite as bad as the one a year person, but I think you never are doing enough events. And for our community events, we're doing 2 a year, Christmas and Easter. So those are a little bit too close together time-wise. So we'd like to add another fall one. But we just did the Easter one last week. Huge success. The Christmas one that we do, it's breakfast with Santa, and it's photos with the Easter bunny and breakfast. So we're feeding them. They're getting photos with Santa. And whenever we do the Santa one, we always get a throw blanket from Costco. They normally have one that's like $10 with like a $2 rebate or something, $7.99. And we load up on them. And I always feel like, who is somebody going to use down the road? The person that's been sending them postcards, or the person that gave them a new holiday throw every single year? And that's actually doing stuff for the community without asking for any business. We're there every time. And then,
all right, hold on. You got to go back to the throw again, just so everybody understands the giveaway that you're doing during Christmas, right? So they come to the event, you're giving them all a gift. Yes.
Yes.
And so what is the gift again, and describe it, and where you get it again, and what you pay for it?
So it's a little bit of a pain because Costco has a 10 blanket limit. So you have to kind of split up and come back and forth. Like my wife and I will do separate carts, but it's a Costco throw. And it has like fleece on the one side. It's like a plaid Christmas color. But it's typically on sale for about $8, and they look great. People love using them to decorate for the holidays. They actually have them out. They're going to keep them forever. People actually try to take extra ones if you turn your back. Like it happens with any of our free stuff. And it's the same way with the Easter one. Like, we're giving Easter baskets, all the Easter eggs. We gave away 2,000 Easter eggs for about 100 kids. So the ratio of egg to kid was high. We learn every time. And then on top of those events, like, they're seeing our videos on top of it. So they come in, and we'll get to that later regarding the YouTube stuff. But on our pumpkin patch event at Cox Farms, it's a huge complex pumpkin patch. That last event we had was for the whole team. We had 700 to 800 people actually attend. And that one is actually our best performing YouTube ad. It's just an event like about the video. I mean, a video about the event. And that one, we really have learned from doing it multiple times on how to maximize it. Like, this year, we're adding like a form that they fill out that, when they arrive, like, are you planning to sell in the next 12 months? Do you know anybody? Blah, blah, blah. Like, stuff that we haven't thought about doing before. But I'm really good because I am not naturally a client event person. I like to do my ads. I like to stay at home. And my wife, being the smart one in the relationship, is always nudging me in the right direction. And she said, babe, you're still selling. You're just selling your agents, and you're selling, you're still selling something, because I'm really comfortable if I'm selling something.
Right.
So when I'm there, I'm selling the raffle. So they arrive and I have a raffle ticket and I say, thank you so much for coming in. Leah literally wouldn't be able to do this without your help, or whatever agent. Just for coming in, here's your raffle ticket. I give every person in the family a raffle ticket and I say, and if you find our videographer down by the tent, if you do a video testimonial, a video review, you're going to get 3 additional raffle tickets. And when the kids go down there and they see like the PS5 and like all the insane gifts, they're going up to mom and dad saying like, you need to go do this review. And our videographer, every year, he's like, I do a lot of these client events and nobody has a line of like 20 people to do video testimonials. Like no one, not any event that we do, because I'm just good at selling that part of it.
All right. We gotta reel you in a little bit. We gotta stop and pause for the brilliance, right? You dropped enough pearls and nuggets in that we could probably just call that the podcast, honestly. All right. So I want to go a little bit chronologically here, right? So at Christmas, one of the things I love is that you're doing the throw, right? So and one of the things that there's a strategy out there where, well, you would take the throw and you would deliver them to people's houses. You've discovered that if it's a value, they'll come get it, right? And which is an attractive model instead of a chase model. So you're implementing the chase or the attraction of the event. They'll come and get the throw. Another chalk up to Costco for being a winner. They're a winner with their pumpkin pies during Thanksgiving. They're a winner with these throws. They're just, I mean, here's the thing, right? Is they're a winner in the bulk game. And when you're doing an event, one of the things that you love to do is buy in bulk because you're going to get a big discount. So I love that. And then, all right, fast forward, we're in Easter, right? Or at Christmas, just to wrap that up. They're doing a picture with Santa. They're doing breakfast with Santa, and you're doing raffle tickets. And if they do a video testimonial, they don't just get 1 ticket, they get 3 more tickets, and you're using the children against them, which I love, or with them, to fill out more because you're giving the greatest Christmas gifts in the history of the world, whatever's hot that year. And the PS5, there wasn't anything hotter. So the kids are like, Dad, go do the video testimonial as soon as possible. And Mom, and you're like, are there any other, like, can we get our uncles and aunts down here to do these video testimonials to get as many entries in the raffle as possible? So that's Christmas. And then you're coming up, you've got Easter. Easter, it's breakfast with the Easter Bunny, pictures with the Easter Bunny. Once again, you use the raffle system. Now you're actually doing physical raffle tickets that are given to them, and they get 3 more for doing a video testimonial. No
raffle on Christmas and Easter, because this is our neighborhood. They're not our clients yet. I mean, this is something that we should do, but the big team events in the fall, and then the wine event that we do in May, that's when we do the big raffles.
All right. So October,
everything is just given away for our neighborhood.
Okay. All right. So the and this is why I do this, right? This is just a conversation, and you're going to find I'm going to ask 5,000 questions.
Oh, I love it,
because I'm genuinely curious. And honestly, I think I've got some little things that may help, maybe. But I think, all right. So Christmas and Easter is just for your neighborhood, and you're doing the Easter egg hunt and all that for your neighborhood, and it's a neighborhood that you farm, right? Mm-hmm. And then you've got 2 events that you're doing that are, you call them team events. They're really community events that all of your team is inviting people to. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. All right. So we would call those like community events. So the community event, you've got pumpkins, and then you've got, what's the other one?
Wine event.
Wine event. Okay. And when do you do the pumpkins in October? When do you do the wine event?
The wine event this year is going to be May 16th, but it's typically in May every year.
All right. So, and that those 2 is when you do the raffles, and all you're doing, and you have the best job ever. We call it the golden ticket strategy. The golden ticket is you have something they want, so they come to you. Well, you've got the raffle tickets. So you're handing these raffle tickets out, and they want to interact with you. They want to be with you. You get a chance to love on every single person who comes in because you've got something they want, right? And we also do it in reverse. When we teach event mastery, is they would come to you to get like a drink ticket or a pumpkin ticket or a pie ticket or, the gift ticket. They would come to you, and you would give them the golden ticket to go get their fleece or their blanket at Christmas, right? So that's the way the golden, it's kind of the Willy Wonka thing, right?
Yeah.
So love that. And then Okay. So I think I've got it in my head right. You're not doing like 1,000 events. You're doing super focused, a couple of events per segment on a yearly basis. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the first 2 years of our business, year 8 to year 6, I was doing a lot of the pop buys where I
Yeah.
had the time and the sweat equity.
Yeah.
And now, we have Client Giant, we have systems, and we have these events that I don't. It's not going to take as much time of mine driving around.
They're coming to you. It's
Yeah,
attractive, right? And when you're, one subservient and one servant, right? With the subservient, you're going to them, and with the servant, you're being a servant leader, and they're coming to you. So I think there's a big power difference in the two strategies. I really do. And time, leverage, scale, like there's so many benefits to having an event and them coming versus, if you have to deliver it, does it have value? Right? But here's the thing: if you do an event and they come get it, it has value because especially in DC or Atlanta or Phoenix, where driving is a freaking thing, so that's a big deal.
well, I don't know why I haven't done this, but just hearing you talk through it and talking about dropping off in the door versus them coming to you, it just kind of dawned on me why, when I mail out to the neighborhood about the neighborhood events, why aren't I telling them, like, make sure you stop by, make sure you RSVP so we know how many throws, like, we're going to give you a throw. Like, they're going to come even more if we don't even tell them in the letter that they're going to get anything.
Yeah.
That's just a surprise.
Oh, totally should be part of it. Right? Or surprise gift. Then if the throws don't make it, or you can't buy enough, or you run out, you can give them a surprise gift that, like, you run out to your car real quick and give them your cell phone. I'm just kidding. But like, if you run out, then, but it's like, and the thing about, people love a mystery. They love a surprise. And I also love what you're doing with the throws. Like, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get off here. I'm going to text Don McNaughton, who does Breakfast with Santa. And I'm going, this is genius, because the throws every year are slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, they're like a green and dark red, and I've seen them, right? And we may actually have one. And the thing is then another year they're like a lighter green and a lighter red, and then some years they have designs on it. It's just like, it almost becomes like a collector's item, and they have 5 or 6 of these around the house. They're thinking about you in every room. I love it.
And as we've done these, a couple years in a row now, we've only been in this house since COVID. But since we've done it for a few years, like, the general sentiment from every neighbor that comes up to us, it says, nobody in the neighborhood has ever done this for us, and my kids are going to remember this for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Isn't that why we do this?
Yeah.
If prospecting isn't fun, why do it? This is the funnest. In fact, if you go to funprospecting.com, you're going to find Event Mastery. Why? Because it's fun prospecting. There's no better way. So I love that. And you've got to do the sneaky surprise fox gift. What are foxes? They're sneaky. They're like, they're swift. They're sneaky. What is it? They're sly. You're going to do the sly fox gift with every one of your events. Sly Fox. Come on. That's, on the sly.
You're giving me ideas. I could hide the sly gift.
Oh,
would be,
let's
if they
go.
If they find it, they win like an Amazon gift card or something.
Oh, let's freaking, or the kids, right? Yeah. With the Easter egg one, you could have the Sly Fox gift, and they open it up and it's a picture of a fox or your team. And they get that one, they get $100 Amazon gift card, and for the kids, right? And the kids are like, $100. Let's go. And then they get to buy anything they want. The whole dude, my last name's freaking Maher. You got Fox. Dang, let's go. I love it.
Yeah. My wife says, even if I screw up, she's keeping the last name. So
yeah, she's still a Fox. I haven't met her, but all right. So my wife's a Fox too, but just has to live with the name Maher. All right. So what I really want to unpack here, right, is what you do after, because that's the fortune is in the follow-up. So I always teach in Event Mastery the 5 sequences. There is the planning sequence. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? So planning sequence. And then you've got the invitation sequence. The power is in the invitation. In many cases, we just want conversations It's okay if they don't come to the event. The conversation has a lot of value. And then we have the confirmation sequence, which is a thing. Without confirmation, you don't have attendance. The attendance is in the confirmation. Trust me on that. And then you have the event sequence, which is how you orchestrate their experience during that day. And then you have the follow-up sequence, and the fortune is in the follow-up. And that's where I really want to hone in with you, because what you're doing is so brilliant, so above and beyond that. I love every minute of it. So, all right. How are you leveraging the client events and using them on YouTube as advertising to build your business? That's the first thing, right? So you're doing the event and then you're getting it out. Like, talk to us about that a little bit.
Well,
YouTube.
I want to start
use YouTube.
Yeah, I want to start with a couple mistakes that we made. Is like when we're at the event, I used to say, here's a raffle ticket just for coming. I would say, you do 2 raffle tickets if you scan this QR code, leave us a Google review, and then if you do a video review with our videographer, you get 3 additional ones. They want to accrue as many as possible. But what we found when we got like 50 to 100 Google reviews in one day, it was a pretty hard gut punch to see all of these reviews erased within a week, because Google doesn't like all of these reviews taking place at the same time from the same location and IP address.
It looks rigged. It looks rigged, right? It looks like a mistake. It's too much and too soon. I love that you covered that. And because there's a lot of people who would they would just do the QR code and have them do it. And they would accumulate 30 or 40 at every single one of those. But there's a better way. What's the better way to do that?
So the better way is when you have the professional photography, both from the pumpkin patch, and because we have a setup where they can sit down around the pumpkin patch thing. Everybody wants to get a family photo there. And we don't send it back to them with any branding or anything like that. So when we send them the link to download the photos, we ask them to leave us a Google review at that time, but we ask them to please download the photo and add the client event photo to the review. And we've noticed this because of like our Yelp reviews disappearing, that when somebody adds a photo to your review, it stays on there 99% of the time.
It doesn't just stay on there. It actually moves up.
Yeah.
You see, it's not always chronological. You would think they'd be it's kind of like Amazon. Amazon's, like, my book reviews you would think they'd be chronological. They're actually not. They actually like pop up. If you do a video review, it goes to the top. If you do a photo review, it goes to the second. And if you just do a review, it's filtered in by how many people like it or think it's helpful. Powerful.
Well, I got a little bonus gift for anybody at the end of this. If they leave Michael and myself a video review on our books, I'm going to give you guys a little bonus of my top 10 performing YouTube video ads. But we'll get to that in a minute. Where were we, Michael? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we're talking about like using the picture on the Google review.
Yeah. So, and then to take it on steroids. And this is really good if you have somebody camera shy when you're doing a closing and they don't want to be in the photo. It happens, and you got to respect it. You can do a video of just the front of the house, like it just sold. Just do 2 or 3 seconds in front of the house. They don't even have to be in it. If you rename that video file, Realtors Near Me, as the file name, and then when you ask your client for the review in your email, however you ask, and you give them that file, you have to send them the link for Google Maps. It's the only way to add a video to review is through Google Maps. It's the only way. So if they add a video, just like you're saying with your book reviews, Amazon's prioritizing the video reviews above all else. Google will do the same with video. Like, it's just going to move that review to the top. So little tip.
All right. I'm a systems guy, right? So we're going to go through this chronological. So I go to your event. Let's say it's your pumpkin patch event. I go to your pumpkin patch event, and we'll use that one, and then we'll use the video one in a second. And so I get a picture with my family at the pumpkin patch. So I leave, right? Tell me what happens next for me it
starts there. So I'm telling them, because it's kind of a trust game, because we realize our reviews are being taken down after they're happening at the event. Right. So we're telling them face to face, hey, it'd be great when we send you the photos, if you can, you use that photo, leave us the review. They're like, yeah, of course, everybody's going to say yes face to face. You just did all this for them. So when you send them the link of the photo gallery for them to download, you're requesting them then to download the photo, and then you have a link where they can leave a Google review and just say, if you'd be so kind, and say, if you didn't want to share your photo, we understand, but we'd still love your Google review. And it's basically like a 1-to-1 email.
All right. So I'm going to get an email with my pic or a link to the picture, and it's going to have a link to where I can do a Google review. And you suggest in the email, you suggest maybe something for them to say, and you suggest that they attach the picture, or I attach my family's picture to the Google review, right? But you don't stop there. You do something genius that only because I know YouTube is you rename the picture. So the picture is realtors near me, maybe even realtors near me, DC market, DC metro. You can name it whatever you want as long as the name fits. And then when that is uploaded, secretly YouTube will see the name of the picture, and it helps things happen in Google PPC, right? It will help it show up higher when somebody searches DC metro realtors near me. Yes.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot to unpack, technical side there from an SEO or search engine optimization that I could really get in the weeds, that agents, it's all in my book, like step by step. My goal was to have in my book, like, read this chapter 1, here's a free video series, read this chapter 2, free video series, nothing sold. But they go through it, and the light bulb goes off as if they're writing, say, a market blog for their neighborhood. And they're sending it out to their sphere, whatever. When they write that market blog, if they have a Google business page and say they only have, even if they only have 12 reviews, they can take their Google review schema, embed that code into their blog. And if somebody searches anything about that neighborhood, their article will show how many reviews it has at the bottom. So like Redfin and Zillow aren't even doing this because they're not getting good reviews. So I don't want to get.
Do you have a blog?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you're using the blog essentially for SEO and PPC power, maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So love that. And yeah. So here, I'm going to throw this out right now, right? Is we don't have time to unpack a 200-page awesome book of, 6 weeks to real estate success. But for the first 5 people that do a video review of my book and the 7L and Dustin's book, and you post and join GenGen a link to your review, I will get the book to you. I will send you Dustin's book. So for the first 5, just let us know you did it. And just so you know, is I may go up to 10. So we did this with Brittany Hodak, and Creating Superfans helped her book become a bestseller. The book was already great, deserved to be a bestseller. But I'm going to buy 10 of his books. We're going to get them out to you, and would love that. And then I also know that you're tuned in, you're making it happen, and you're going to become better by reading 6 Weeks to Real Estate Success and learning what he just shared with it. I love that. All right. So keep going with that.
So we do the client event. We're paying for the best videographer that we can afford. I mean, the best quality. We want it edited well. We want it to be fast transitions. We want it to look fun. We get that client event video, and then this is something that has been new in my business over the last year and a half. But I take that video, and the beauty about Google ads is, like Facebook, Instagram, you're still pigeonholed around this 15-mile radius on how you can target for fair housing. Google will allow you to target a specific city. So like I live in Centerville, Virginia. That's where we're doing our farming. So we have now been able to teach our agents, and we were the test case of becoming like micro famous in 3 to 6 months. And we were at Spirit Halloween, and this was my wife's big aha. We were at the Spirit Halloween store, and this woman that was like checking people out, she didn't even see my wife. She was on the phone behind me while I was in line. She could just hear my wife's voice. She goes, "Oh, is that Devin Fox?" And Devin was like, "I'm sorry." And she's like kind of embarrassed, like, did I go to high school with her or something? I don't know. and she was like, started saying a line from our video. The beginning of our video is like, it's like a kind of a blooper where she's trying to get the team to say something and they keep screwing it up.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's funny. And then it cuts into the fun and it's the pumpkin patch video. Well, we have people contacting us saying like, hey, how do we come to your event next year? It looks so much fun. So that by far has the highest average click-through rate, like the average, how many people click it versus view it than any other video we have. The second most are shocking, our client testimonials. So we all like to gloat about ourselves, but let your client say it for you. And you can target those to any audience you want. And we target them to Centerville homeowners only. We're trying to get listings. So we're targeting sellers. And it took me a while to figure out this targeting because my daughter kept getting snaps from her friends saying like, slay, Devin, slay. They never said anything nice about me, but they were getting the video ads. And I was like, I need to work on my targeting a little bit.
So how many people live in Centerville?
79,000 between the 2 zip codes.
Okay. 2 zip codes. Now, all right. So this is what makes this super affordable. What's the budget that you're using on like Google and YouTube to focus on just those 2 zip codes in Centerville?
So you won't hit all of them unless you do a skippable in stream. And this is all step-by-step done in my book. Don't feel, no matter how like unfriendly you are with technology, like we have everybody on our team of all ages are running these ads now. So you can learn it by watching like a 5-minute video. It's so easy. But I tell them like ideally a $500 budget a month or more, you will not hit the entirety of those 2 zip codes. You'll typically get, for $500 a month, you'll get about 20,000 views. Okay. Now, the beauty of it that I figured out is if you just go skippable in stream, it's just going to randomly shoot it out to whoever is on YouTube that day. But if you choose a target frequency ad thing, and it sounds technical, but it's in the book, it's very easy. The whole rule of 7 in marketing is like somebody has to see you 7 times before they decide if they want to buy or sell or do anything with you. Target frequency, you can decide, I want to take this audience of say 79,000 that I have in Centerville. Yep. And I want Google to take this audience of homeowners in Centerville. And I want you to find the power users of YouTube. And I want you to say, I want you to see this either 2, 3, or 4 times. Those are the options they give you. So you're of course going to choose 4. Yeah. So they're seeing the same, as long as you're running that ad, and you should set it and forget it. Like, as long as you're running that ad, the same people are going to see it 4 times every week. And just like the commercials that you guys see in your market, the ones that tend to annoy you the most are the ones that are the most effective. So like you want it to be fun. You want people coming up to you. We don't go anywhere in Centerville without a server, without somebody coming up to us in the grocery store. My wife is more approachable. They typically say something to her. But we get it everywhere. And, you know, my wife, there's pros and cons. She feels like she has to do her hair and makeup before she leaves the house. Yeah. But it's great.
Well, you're both micro famous, right? Which is, you know, we've been talking about this a long time. I talked to Janine Sasso literally yesterday about this. It's that hyper local micro famous is what you want to be, you know, and the beauty of it is you can target that specifically for a very realistic budget. It's not going to take you a ton of money because it's the long tail. I hope everybody reads that book, right? It's the long, and this is a super long tail, but there's a benefit to it. It's not just a segment. It's not just demographic, which is what the long tail talks about, is go after, like realtors is a demographic, or, you know, someone who likes roller coasters is a demographic. It's not demographic only, it's also geographic. So, man, you got so much focus. You know how to speak to them. You know what's going on in the area. You're also, as a realtor, you know the market like the back of your hand. I mean, this is now. I want to just clarify one thing. Are you saying not do the skippable in stream and focus on target frequency?
So it ends up being. When you're in Google Ads, it says choose an ad without a goals guidance. Then you choose video. Then there's a drop down. You're going to choose target frequency. At the very end, it'll still force you to do skippable or in stream. You're going to choose skippable in stream, but it's really just going to be easier if you get the book and you just follow along the tutorial, because it sounds very. But I will tell you, going back to the event thing, my wife has a listing that's live today, and they came into our Christmas event. They hadn't been to an event of ours before. It was the neighborhood event, and she literally walked in and was like, I can't stop seeing your commercials every week. Like, I love that you're doing this for the community. I want you guys to sell our house. There was no, Devin had the whole listing book. She was like, they wouldn't even let me open it. She's just like, just tell me what to do.
Yep. Yeah. They were sold already by generosity. Your generosity, they wanted to be a part of that. And that's, generosity is so attractive. It's just a beautiful thing. You're doing a lot for the community. And here's the other thing, right? We talked before. I mean, I think people need to understand, you have 1,600 Google reviews, 1,600. That's more than a lot of large companies have. And you're focusing on the DC Metro, but it plays well. If you ever did Florida or South Carolina or Georgia, you've still got 1,600 Google reviews. You can use that for anything. I mean, that's a powerful tool in itself. So why Google? And why did you decide to do Google instead of Zillow with your reviews?
In terms of effectiveness, if like your goal is, we're not like a Zillow team or a Zillow Flex team. I try to teach my agents how to build a long-term business with listings. Like I've never been in Keller Williams, but Millionaire Real Estate Agent, your book, were what I read as soon as I got licensed. And I was like, okay, I'll just do these two things, and that's all I need to know. Like listens to last and generosity. Like that's really, it's not that difficult. But the way that we get our reviews and the reason why we choose Google is I realized, like, I was on a Zillow team my first 6 months on a lead team. And the president of our brokerage said, you don't need to worry about anything but Zillow reviews, because that's kind of like what's most important. And at the time I understood, right. But as the years went on, and the Zillow's strategy changed over to Flex and then the seller lead stuff that they're selling now, they don't want you, even if somebody goes to Agent Finder and searches a specific city,
which they hardly ever do. Just so you know, I mean,
that's not.
They're not looking for agents; they're looking for homes on Zillow, right?
Exactly. So they're Googling realtors near me. Mm-hmm. So I started really paying attention a lot to this space of Google. I think the second biggest one that's very undervalued is Nextdoor reviews. Mm-hmm. Like we had a couple clients leave us Nextdoor reviews without us asking them to. And we got multiple deals from it. So now it's part of that's all I worry about. If I'm at an event and I'm like, leave us a review at these two places. But the way that my big aha on the Google review front was during COVID. It was the very beginning when nobody was going into each other's houses, and we had just got the Saint Bernard puppy. My dad comes over, and he's a total boomer, and he looks at all these Amazon packages. He's like, "Son, what are you doing buying all this stuff?" And I was like, Dad, this is literally how everybody shops. and like fast forward 2 months later, I bring my dog over to his house, and he's got all these Amazon boxes. And I said, oh, look at you shopping now. He's like, I always said I like to like touch and feel things, but this is so nice because I just look at the reviews, whatever has the most, I don't even have to think, and I just purchase. And it was like a light bulb went off, and I was like, I need to get a collection of people together that can take away their own best interest and trust me that they're going to be return business if they give up their individual Google page reviews and we work together as a team. So now that we're winning, because agents don't realize there's not enough differentiation. If you have 25 or 55-star reviews, there's 1,000 in your market that have the same thing. Right. You kind of have to win or be close to winning. Like,
you got to win. What's second place pay in real estate? 0. I mean, it's like first place, you win everything. Second place, you don't even get a set of steak knives. I mean, in third place, you're fired. It's second place, you're fired. Third place, you're fired. Fourth place, you're not even on the front page of Google, right? I mean, go to where they bury bodies. That's the second page of a Google search, right? So I think here's the thing, right? I love this. Here's what I want to do to kind of wrap a bow around all of this is I want you to tell me, all right, and this is really, the fortune is in the follow-up around events, and it's the follow-up sequence. I want you to tell me, like, literally, I went to your event, and what do I hear from you over the next month that maximizes what you're and what do you do on your end, right? So the event happens, I get the link to the picture, and I'm asked to do a Google review, and now I'm asked to do a Nextdoor review in an email that also has a link to get my picture, and you also say, hey, please put your picture on there if you don't mind, right? All right. So what are you doing in the 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks after an event to maximize the event for you and your team?
So I think the most important thing is having the agents that are on our team, instead of blasting it out to everyone that came in as an RSVP, is individual message and text messages, like individual follow up versus just blasting it out and asking for a review to everyone. Like the email or the text or the phone call has to be personalized. But when we're talking about reviews in general and the follow up and how to get reviews, I will say, like, the late great Charlie Munger would say, if you have a problem in your business, it's typically you're not looking closely enough at incentives. So, like, how are we incentivizing our agents to get reviews? Like, when you're giving them incentives and you're handing out checks in front of the whole group at a team meeting for the reviews that they get, they're like, hey, I'm going to follow up with this person because I want to get a review from them.
All right, talk about that a second. All right, so you're basically at a certain point of reviews. How do you do that? You're going to pay the agents. You're paying the agents to honestly power up their own business, which is interesting, right? That you have to do that, but incentivizing is powerful. So tell me, if I'm an agent on your team, what's the incentive?
The incentive is cash or a check.
Yeah. How much is it? What do I get per review?
$1,000 every 25 reviews, okay. 2,500 once they get to 50.
Okay.
So I can promise anyone listening to this, if they hear that amount, they're going to be like, that's insane. Especially if I'm not taking the calls. Like we have 5 or 6 agents on the calls every month, that people calling in because of our reviews.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that the value of those reviews are so undervalued. They have no idea. Like, you don't know until you win, like, how much it's worth. Like, we went from like in the bonus that I have, you can see the growth of when we started the team to now, the chart, and how many leads we have since we started the team. And everything has started with this vision that I had about reviews first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And I don't want it to sound so callous, like, oh, it's all about the cash. Like, it starts with the events. It starts with doing a good job. All of this came from me doing 17 years of retail management, like Bed Bath & Beyond, Pottery Barn. And I worked in an environment, if somebody got a complaint, they would lose their job. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to do a good job. That's literally your job, is to make the customer happy. So the same way that people go to stores and they circle the receipt and they say, hey, maybe you leave me a survey, you get $10 off. Like, I was the best at that. Like, I could look somebody right in their eye and ask them for 5 stars. And my associates would say, Dustin, I don't really feel comfortable asking for 5 stars. I'm like, I wouldn't either if I didn't give them 5-star treatment.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel comfortable because I just orchestrated a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love that. All right. So we're doing a free download at referralspodcast.com. We're also, for those that do reviews, video reviews of our 2 books, I'm going to send them a book, your book. And I'll do that up to 10. So I need to buy 10 of your books. And then, I will do it. I will do it on mine. I'll do it on mine for 20. You leave me a video review. I'll leave it. I'll give out 20. You just got to DM me at Dustin M. Fox with a D, DUSTINMFOX. Just DM me your receipt or a screenshot of your video review and of Michael's as well. It's got to be both. And I'll do like 20 more after Michael's goes past, because I think this episode's going to be a hit. Well, if nothing else, we're going to give out a bunch of great books and they'll love it. So, well, I love that. And, all right. And something that you hit on that I love is we talk a lot about blanket thank yous after events. Make sure you thank them all, and you send a link to the pictures or whatever it may be. I love your individual follow-up, and you're going to get a better response if you're doing that email and that text for the people. And the beauty of the text is then you get into a conversation, and you have this conversation, and it's another conversation. If you want to be successful in real estate, measure your conversations, because it's all how many, the person with the most conversations has the most conversions. The one with the most conversions has the most contracts, and the one with the most contracts wins. So I love that part of it. And I love that you're doing that. And I love that you're going for Google reviews, Nextdoor reviews. You've kind of put Zillow reviews on the back burner. You're incentivizing the agents, $100,000 or $1,000 for the 25 reviews, 2,500 for 50 reviews. Don't underestimate or undervalue the power of each of those Google reviews and Nextdoor reviews, because they're getting you business. And let's see. Yeah, I mean, you're also hearing from a guy that did 400 million in production over the last 3 years. So I say we listen loud and clear. Anything else you want to add on the events to the follow-up?
Well, on the events, I just want to reiterate that like everything that we do from a digital side and the review side would only work if we were doing the reviews. Like when you talk about like your actual pyramid of 7 levels of communication, like I would say the TV advertising for the YouTube videos is climbing that chart, but it's never going to beat the one-on-one. It's never going to beat the face-to-face. That frequency, when they're seeing you in person and they realize you're just as nice as you are on video, like the video works because they feel like they're getting to know you and it's repeat exposures, but you got to get them into an event. And when you get them into an event, they see how fun you are, how generous you are, and it all starts to come together.
Yes, the energy is in the event. Right.
Yep.
And there's a lot of energy to it. And what you're doing is you're using the energy to help more people, which I hope a lot of people would do. You know, I mean, I love the beauty of this. You're using video and pictures at just an amazing level from these events. I mean, shoot, we're still getting people in Event Mastery to take photographs and get videos. Like I have to remind them almost in every session I teach, get photos, take videos, make sure you're doing that. And then, you know, right now, what you've done is you've given us the blueprint of what to do with those to maximize the opportunity. The idea of getting a video testimonial is great. Then people are like, oh, well, what do I do now? Oh my gosh, use it on YouTube. Get it on YouTube and let it work for you every single day, and let the power of YouTube deliver the video. So go ahead.
So the founder of Sony would always say, like it's not enough to have a unique selling proposition. Like in our case, it's like great video. We do HGTV video. We get every seller 100,000 views of their property. It's not enough to have a unique selling proposition at your client event, like having a great videographer and getting video testimonials. You still have to sell it to the customer. So it's not, you can put it on social media. That's great for your audience to see, but it's on there for a blip and then nobody ever sees it again. And like 20% of your audience sees it. Like you got to embed them in your weekly newsletters. You got to spend a little bit of money to blast it out to the same audience every single, and find the ones. Like you can take 10 video reviews from your event and you can run an ad for $100 for all 10 and see which one gets the most clicks. Like let the public decide which is resonating the most with them. And that's the one that you keep going.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So much good here. I mean, and you know, I talk about the use of the video testimonial in the 7 steps to a successful success story, right? Is you have the video and then you have this little story about the client, and the client is the hero and you're the guide on the side. And that's acceptable to everyone, which is so much better than when you're the hero or you try to be when you try to be the hero, the story always fails. And that's the truth. Is your client's the hero. You're the guide on the side that helped the hero. And the video testimonial as a part, I could see it as a part of that Facebook post, as a part of that Instagram story. And you're telling the story of the client, and then you've got the video testimonial to support it. That's just a powerful, powerful type of testimonial, right? It's the most powerful testimonial. You got a written testimonial, you've got maybe a picture testimonial, and then you got a video testimonial. It's the best. It's the most powerful. So,
well, I think, and don't skimp on the quality of who you're hiring to do this. Like see who's already doing great work and hire them. Because you like when you're running these 4K on people's TVs, like they freak out. Like they think you're a celebrity when it's on their TV. Like the difference between running a Facebook and Instagram ad, because I did it for 7-8 years being the Facebook Instagram ad guru, versus when we started moving more towards YouTube ads. Like we have a whole folder of folders or photos of people taking photos of us in front of their big screen TV. Like
that's celebrity status.
Yeah, taking photos of their kids. Like they lose their mind. And when you're doing that for your listings, when you're in the video for your listings and then you're advertising it, and if the neighbors see it and send it to your clients, you are never getting fired ever. Like they lose their mind.
Yeah. I love it. Wow. Well, I'm telling you, this was fantastic. And Dustin, I appreciate every part of this. And those of you that are listening, this guy is the guy in DC Metro. Go to foxessellfaster.com, and it's Dustin and Devin Fox. Also, go find them on YouTube. Go find them on Instagram. Make sure you're following on Instagram and subscribe to YouTube, and make that happen, just because you're going to learn a ton from that. Go get 6 Weeks to Success in Real Estate that he wrote. Make sure you go to Amazon and check that out. And then, as an incentive, I'm going to send you the book if you post a video review of our 2 books and then put in Gen that you did it and send a link to where it is, and I'll go find it. And then I'll get your address and I'll send you a book. And we also have a free download with this. Check it out at referralspodcast.com. You can download that, get more information on it. But honestly, you're going to get the download, and then you're going to want to get his book, because he does step by step exactly what he talked about here today. And I'm telling you, the fortune is in the follow-up. And Dustin has cracked the code on this follow-up sequence and how to maximize it, and how to use those videos. I mean, once we have it, how do we use it? And that's what he's mastered. So, Dustin, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've shared today. The pearls of wisdom and the nuggets of gold that you've given are something I truly believe this is one of those podcasts people are going to listen to over and over again and get the value out of. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Michael.
Ladies and gentlemen, Referrals Podcast. Go to referralspodcast.com to get the download. We invited you to join gen.com. Join the generosity generation. If you liked what you heard today, well, if you don't like what you heard today, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you like what you heard today, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, and then also join us and join gen.com. And then if you want to rub elbows with people who are building their business on love, generosity, and appreciation and seeing phenomenal success with it, make sure you sign up for RMS 2024, rms2024.com. Use the code RPApril. That's for Referrals Podcast April. RPApril will get you $600 off the general admission or the ambassador ticket. You probably want to go ambassador, just so you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you being here. As always, welcome to the family. Welcome to the Generosity Generation. And we will see you on the next episode of Referrals Podcast.